All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we are decoding the DNA of an absolute footballing empire. We're talking about the Brazilian national football team. Founded way back in 1914, they haven't just participated in the world's most popular sport, they've literally authored its defining chapters. Let's dig into the data, the history, and the culture that built this completely unmatched legacy. You know, around the globe, nobody just calls them the team. They are the Seleção. In Portuguese, that translates to the selection. But for the Brazilian Football Confederation, it's so much more than just a name. It represents the absolute pinnacle of their national talent. Being called up means you're carrying the immense pride of an entire nation on the global stage. It is the ultimate symbol of football excellence. So, how do we break down this global powerhouse? Here's our roadmap for today. First up, identity and beautiful game magic. Number 2, unbeatable record numbers. Third, we'll look at Seleção legends through history. Then, the current generation and technical leadership. And finally, strongholds of magic in stadiums. Let's jump right into Section 1, Identity and Beautiful Game Magic. You already know the colors, right? Yellow, green, and blue. But let's be real, that iconic yellow shirt isn't just a uniform. It's a massive global symbol. And sitting right there on the chest is the CBF crest. It's a heavily decorated badge that literally carries over a century of footballing heritage. Putting on that shirt is an unparalleled honor. But actually, scratch that. The real identity of the Seleção goes way beyond the uniform. It's their entire philosophy. They don't just want to win games, they demand to win them beautifully. This commitment to immense skill and a super entertaining, attacking style of play is exactly why they are the undisputed global symbol of the beautiful game. They essentially took a pretty rigid sport and turned it into this fluid, rhythmic art that just captivates everybody watching. Moving on to Section 2, unbeatable record numbers. Now, you don't become a legend purely on style, right? You need the hard stats to back it up, and their historical dominance is staggering. Just look at this, 9 Copa America titles ruling South America, 4 Confederations Cups proving they can be champions from all over the world, and of course, the ultimate prize, 5 World Cups. This isn't just a lucky golden era, it's a full century of absolute dominance. Let that number sink in. 5 World Cup victories. That is an all-time record. But honestly, the most mind-blowing metric of their enduring excellence is this. They are the only team in the entire history of the sport to have played in every single edition of the World Cup. Think about that for a second. They have never missed the tournament. Ever. Okay, let's hit Section 3. Selecionar legends through history. We absolutely can't talk about Brazil without talking about the icons who built this legacy. These names are literally institutions. You've got Pelé, who brought them unprecedented global glory, and Ronaldo Nazário with his lethal precision in the box. Then there's the unmatched flair and permanent smile of Ronaldinho, Kaká's elegant midfield command, Zico's supreme technical vision, and Neymar's modern creativity. Together, these guys cemented Brazil's worldwide status for sure. Which brings us to Section 4, current generation and technical leadership. So, who's carrying the torch today? Well, the weight of that yellow shirt now falls to a really dynamic new crop of stars. We're talking devastating attackers like Vini Jr., Rodrigo, and Rafinha, bringing that classic Brazilian flair straight to the wings. You've got Bruno Guimaraes dictating the tempo in the middle, while veterans like Marquinhos and world-class goalkeeper Alisson Becker lock down the defense. It's a heavy burden living up to those historic standards, but they're bringing the heat. And here's a really fascinating twist about the current squad. The technical manager? Carlo Ancelotti. Yep, an Italian legend leading the Brazilian squad. It's this rare, super interesting cross-pollination of cultures. It's a calculated attempt to blend legendary European tactical structure with that free-flowing South American artistry. It's like a grand experiment to keep them at the absolute pinnacle of the modern game. Finally, Section 5, strongholds of magic and stadiums. Unlike a lot of national teams that are anchored to just one home stadium, Brazil's home advantage is totally decentralized. They actually rotate their matches through massive strongholds across the country. We're talking places like the Mané Garrincha in the capital of Brasilia, all the way to the modern Neoquímica Arena in São Paulo. This makes sure the Seleção's magic is felt across every region of this massive football-obsessed nation. But let's be honest, one stronghold stands head and shoulders above the rest: the Maracanã in Rio de Janeiro. It is literally a temple for the sport, easily considered one of the most famous stadiums in football history.
When the Celestial walks onto that pitch, surrounded by a sea of green and blue, the atmosphere is just electric. It is the ultimate historic stage, where the echoes of past World Cup victories literally resonate in the concrete.
So we've deconstructed their identity, their legendary icons, and that unbeatable record of 5 World Cups. They are, without a doubt, the ultimate symbol of beautiful football. But as the sport becomes increasingly globalized and tactically rigid, we're left with a pretty big question. With such a heavy history of unmatched skills and global dominance, will the beautiful game always belong to Brazil? Let that marinate. Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.